In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create tasks inside the RouteStar Desktop Software. So a lot of you are probably familiar with your route schedule and invoicing, things like that. The tasks are actually your one-off jobs, something special that you're not doing on a schedule, something that maybe a customer called and needs you to drop off something today that it's never really going to repeat. It's just something they need to get done. Tasks are made for that scenario. You can also bill and close these tasks as soon as you're done. Now, the first thing to note is when you first sign in, you are brought to the employee task list. This is where your tasks will show up. To create a task, you click on this drop-down where it says Tasks and Work Orders and select Task Entry. You must select the customer name first before proceeding. So if you have a parent customer, select them first and then the customer name. Or if you just want to select a customer or job site, you can go straight to it. The system will auto-load whatever information it has inside this customer detail for you. And then you have an area called task type. This is not required, but it's something you can search by later. If it's something you need to find, maybe you need to find all tasks of customers that want you to swap out a machine. You can actually type in here if you don't have that task type yet. Just click in here and type. And when you click out or tab out, it's going to say it's not in the list. Would you like to add it now? Just click yes on that if you want to, or no if you do not want it in the list permanently. I'm going to hit yes. Now, every task I ever create going forward has this as an option in the drop-down. So if I am constantly swapping out machines or bringing something special to a customer, I can select that task type, and like I said later, you can search by that task type on the open or close task list. Now, in the task description, it's important to note that it is visible to the customer. Be very careful what you write down. You can put whatever you want in here. You also have another area for additional notes. You can type as much as you need in here. This thing will take a lot of data. You do have a button that says Show on Work Ticket. If you check it off, it's going to show up automatically. If it's unchecked, it shouldn't. However, anything you're putting in writing, I highly recommend you're careful with what you type out. The resolution area is for the end. Once you're completing a task, we'll go over that in a minute. You have an authorized by area here. So let's say somebody authorized this. You could put their name in. Or if you want to relate a PO number, put a PO number in there. You do have a checklist. Basically, you can select a checklist name and auto-load it, but that will be in another video. So look for a video on tasks with checklists. The due date is important. This is the day that you're going to do that job. Maybe the customer wants us out here on Friday the 20th. Set the due date for Friday the 20th if that's the case. You have an entered by. This is the person who created the task. And an assigned to. Let's say we want to assign this to Joe. Joe's going to do that work. Now you also have a sub-assigned to. Let's say Joe's a foreman and he takes a bunch of tasks and he's going to dish them out to different technicians. Well, Joe would stay as the assigned to, and the sub-assigned to would be someone else. You have a call concerning area. You could select a certain technician if it's a certain tech that they want or is related to this job. You could input a time frame requested, just click in here and type. If it's a 2-day job, you could put that in there. Then you have a start time. Let's say the customer wants us there at 10 a.m. Select 10 a.m. and when you click out, the system's going to go ahead and update and it's going to do a 15 to 30-minute interval by default. You can select whatever your length of time is and it accounts for that. So let's say that job's 10 to 11 a.m. It's exactly what we want there. You have a task ID. That is the task number associated with this job. That is your ID for this job. You have a priority drop-down. You can select maybe it's a high priority and you need to make sure it's handled properly. You could select that there. The date completed and completion time happen when this task is actually closed and completed. And if you do that on the mobile side, this comes in and it will also be marked as completed if you complete it on the mobile side and sync it in. Tells you if it was completed on the mobile, tells you if this was printed or emailed at a previous time. These will be checked off. So the main things that our system really needs, a lot of these are just additional options. The main pieces our system really needs, it needs a customer name, it needs a description, and it needs an assigned to and a due date here. Those are your 4 main things you need to make sure are on this task in order to kind of get it moving. All this other information will be visible on the mobile side for your technicians, or you can just click the print button to print it out if you want to hand them a piece of paper. So technicians will see all this information. That's the main piece of your task. Now you have some additional tabs here. I'm not going to get deep into these, but I'm going to show you one here, line items. Let's say you're in the office and you already know what this customer needs. First thing is, if that customer, Express Food Mart, has customer specific pricing set, you could click the load customer preferred items button and it will load all line items that you have set in their pricing automatically for you. The other way you can handle this is either select the parent name first for the item or go right to the item itself. It's important that you do it right here in the item name. We must have a name. And select the line items that you want in there. Now, I have an option turned on called basically add to pricing. It's asking me if I want to add this line item to this customer's preferred pricing. I'm just going to click no on this. You probably won't have this by default. It's just another option you can turn on in the software. You can adjust the quantities here, or you can adjust them at any other time on the mobile side or on the desktop side at a later date. You can adjust the pricing, and that will adjust the total for you also. But again, you can go back in and do this at any time, either on the mobile or desktop side as you're working the job. The other tabs here, which like I said, we're not going to get into, but you could tie equipment to this or rentals, vending stuff, checklists. You could set up a reoccurring schedule, but the reality is you're probably not going to use tasks for reoccurring schedules. That's what your route schedule is for. And you can associate bills, things that you're going to handle within the task. So that's all it takes to create this task. It really just needs a customer, a description, a due date, and an assigned to. Beyond that, that's all you need to create the task. The rest of these things are just add-on options. When you click the close button, it works as a save. And there's a task we created right here. Now, in theory, if you have 100 tasks, you're going to see them all listed here. And again, you have a number of days out. So it's important to note that if this says 14, it's telling me, hey, today is the 17th. I'm going to show you 14 days into the future. So if you make a task for 3 months from now, and this is set to 14, you're not going to see it on this list. You can always go and change this to anything else just by typing in here. And then hit enter or tab out. So that's it. We have our task now on the desktop. Like I said, you can print these. If you want to send out paper copies, go ahead, hit the print button, tell it yes to print, and it'll print out of your printer there. But a lot of people are using the mobile devices. So to sync this task to the mobile side, click the Sync Mobile Devices button. And you can either click the big Sync Task button, and once it's complete, it'll be on the mobile side, or select Task from the drop-down and hit Sync. They do the same exact thing. Now from there, a technician would work this task on the mobile. The next time you sync tasks, it will pull back in with any changes they've made. The very last piece I'm going to show you, let's say a technician worked this on the mobile side or handed you a piece of paper. You've gone in and adjusted line items, marked it as complete, whatever you need to do. You do not have to mark this as complete before continuing. You have 2 options to get this task off your open task list. If you want to get this cleared out and get it on the closed task list, you go into the task, and the way I got in there was double-clicking this task number, brings you right in. Here's your 2 options. You can either invoice this. If you hit the invoice button, it's going to ask you like to invoice. You say yes. It creates an invoice you can then push into QuickBooks, or you can hit post to notes. And what that really means is close the task, and we can refer to it later. I'm going to hit the post to notes button, and here you'll see that it's actually telling me I'm missing something. I need a resolution. To complete this task, you must have a resolution. Again, remember, everything is visible to your customers, so be very careful with what you put in here. I'm going to click that post to notes button again. The task has disappeared. If If you ever want to get back to this task, go to Tasks and Work Orders, close task, and you'll see the task right there. You'll also notice that if you invoice a task, it closes out again from that open task list and shows back up on the same exact list here. There will be more videos on tasks, so feel free to dig through the video selection, and thanks for watching today's video. Have a great day.